I recognize that song.
There we go.
Woot!
Woo! All right.
There we are. How is everybody?
Not
How
bad.
are you doing? I was waiting for a moment.
Starting, I have to admit, I know every time I say the word soon, I have to say that like the italicized soon because we've been saying it
That's how brainwashing works.
I
for
have to
so
stop you
long.
spelling it every single time.
Good.
I always nearly spell it S-U-N-E now.
And people who are like in my Discord who haven't been following Dune really close are like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's okay, it's okay."
Yeah. Every now and then I use it on social media just to please people, and they're like, it's actually two reactions. They're like, "What the hell is going on?" or they get it. So it's a bit of a gamble.
A little bit. So let me find my right screen here. We are who we are. So I am Megan, also known as DeadWomanWalking. Been gaming for a bit. I think longer than Mojo's been live. I have since I started tabletop gaming back in the 80s. He's doing math.
You got me.
And then moved into computer gaming. Survival games have become my jam for the last 10 years. And then I started with Conan, with Funcom, and then now we are with Dune. And I'm super excited to be here. And I have the amazing Mojo and the amazing Iggy with me. Introduce yourselves.
Go on, Iggy, you're the guest.
Yeah, you go first.
No, because then you're going to ban me. I know how this
Middle
works.
of the sentence.
So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Once again, I am Flaming Mojo. Also, Stephen, I guess. Either's usually fine. By day, I'm a software engineer, and by day and night, apparently, I'm just a massive Dune nerd. I've been around the Discord since the dawn of time. I've become a piece of the furniture there. I have dodged 43 ban attempts by Iggy.
Only?
Now, yeah,
He's been keeping track.
Yeah.
Of course, I've been keeping track. And I founded and run all the technical side of the Awakening Wiki, the community wiki for the game, which recently, just a couple of weeks ago, turned 1 year old already.
Yay.
And oh lordy, we've had so many bots attacking it these last few weeks, but it's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's me.
All right. Then I guess that's my cue. I'm Iggy. I'm the one that tried to ban Mojo 43 times, 44 by the end of the night. We'll see. Community manager, you probably seen me on Discord talking about our Lord and Savior Pineapple and Pizza. During the day, I work and I do, shit talking on Discord. By night, I do pretty much the same. Just video games, maybe. And that's pretty much it. I'm kind of like slaving away now until launch. It's a very intense day. So if you see me fumbling, it's part of my accent, part just a lot of work these days. And you probably know, but I started working at Funcom for Conan Exiles, then did Mel Helsinger, and now Dune Awakening.
So busy man.
Well, I work in community, so not so much, but
we appreciate all that you do for the community. I mean, from Conan and to Helsinger. I wish I could have played that one more because it looked really great, but it
You have not played Metal Helsinger? You have not played Metal Helsinger?
I played a little bit, but I couldn't play much because of my vertigo.
How do you want people from the stream?
It looks great. I wish I could have played more. I feel bad that I couldn't play more because it looks like it's like Doom with a beat, man. And I wanted to play.
Listen, I am biased, but it's like I think they put me like on the project just because I was so obnoxious about it. When we were playing the internal betas, I was just like being incredibly obnoxious about the game, and then oh my god, it's messed it up. And like Storm was like, hey, We need the CM. Do you think you could do it? Like, oh, shut up, yes. So, I also like that's one of the other reasons why I was put the beginning when we were like starting to form the community and everything, because it's also like the game that we're doing in the Oslo office, which is where I am. So it was like our baby, but Metal Huntsinger is like a bit obsessive. I will call it. To this day I will call it one of the best games ever made. But hey, very biased. Take it as you will.
It looks fun. But tonight we're here to talk about Dune Awakening. And just kind of as a reminder of what we can and cannot talk about. So Mojo and I are still very much under the NDA, so we cannot give spoilers. We can't talk about any of the previous waves. We can't talk about any specifics about the beta experience. So please don't ask. We're not here to spoil the game for you, because it's pretty kick-ass and you should definitely experience it for yourself. Right?
But I can.
But you won't.
But I won't.
Who do you think you are, Joel?
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you want real spoilers, get Joel on the show.
Yeah. And then anything we can talk about. Hit the right button. Things shown in the video, because we got some great video to see. Yes, we have played. I think this is not news. The current state of the game is pretty kick-ass. So.
#ad.
It's all an ad at this point. So.
I like the comment. We have an overseer. Yes, we have a babysitter.
We were very naughty last stream, and now we're being punished, and we've got someone just wielding a banhammer just in as a co-host now.
A person of my own interests.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly really super excited, because I know we've talked briefly about some of the art, the visuals for the game, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. And it's the game is beautiful. I cannot articulate how breathtaking this game really is. Can we ride the word? No. Well, from the inside.
From the inside, if you get eaten, yes, you will ride it for a bit. But actually, I guess if there's a question by this point. It's no secret for those of you Discord dwellers. But the whole warm riding, you're not gonna have it at launch, but it's something that we want to add later. So just to get it out of the way, it's like one of the most ancient questions that we got on Discord, and we solved right away. So easy one.
Yep.
Nice, easy.
Right. So shall we jump in? The first thing we wanted to look at, thinking about visual storytelling, is hold on. Video, was some of the footage that we were graciously shared. Funcom shared with us, talking about the Trials of Aql. Right, Mojo, did you want to start this one?
Yeah, sure. So to kind of give a little bit of setup as to kind of what the character's doing here, and what we're actually looking at. So this is pretty fairly early on in the game, and as you can see here, we have a journey at the very top left of the screen. It's in the first Trial of Aql. To give a quick summary of what Aql is, it actually comes from the lore, actual Dune itself. The Trials of Aql, or previously they come from the 7 Mystic Questions, which are part of the Fremen Test of Reason. I believe the only actual question that we know of from the lore side was, who is it that thinks? We don't actually know the answer to that, but as part of our journey through here in the game, we find out the answer to that. So as we can see here, this journey has taken us in search of the Fremen. As those who have managed to play the character creator so far, definitely check it out on Steam. You download it now and create your characters. The Bene Gesserit give us a mission to find the Fremen and wake the sleeper. So it's what we're doing. We're going to go looking in caves, and I think this cave looks pretty Fremenish. And we're going to find out if the Fremen are here.
It's very methodical. Is it look Fremish? Fremenish?
Spot the Fremen.
Yeah. The game is really just like, oh, where's Waldo? Just with the Fremen.
What? Joel, see this.
So, yeah, that's the setup, and that's why we've got a character coming up to a cave. So,
you ready? Are you clicking? Me clicking?
I'll click.
Click. Oh, we also did have the sun thing. Don't stand outside.
And we'll learn about that.
Cave, yeah. You can tell it's a cave because of the rocks on the sides, top and bottom as well.
The stalactites and the stalagmites are kind of a clue.
We can confirm that there's rocks and caves.
Yes.
Lots of sand.
We haven't seen that much yet. Let's not confirm. Oh, there's that. Okay.
Unconfirmed. Okay, everyone. So pause it here. I think, Meg, you wanted to have a little word about the visual storytelling as it goes in before we get started.
I mean, we're here looking for the Fremen. We're looking in a cave, and what we've seen, we saw it outside. It's rocky. It's you've got this. It's dangerous, and then you're looking for something very hidden. You're trying to find a whole people that have disappeared. So you have to really be very specific about how you look. And I'm going to let it go a little further. So as you kind of see, there's something in here. This is not just a cave. This was specifically built. There's there's steps carved. They brought in stone. This was something specific for the trials. This is something specific for the Fremen to come to, and it kind of gives some depth to the Fremen. They're not just we saw in the movie where Raban was always screaming about them being rodents and pests and things. He didn't want to see their cultural history and the architecture that they left behind. The art, we passed some art on the wall coming down into this cave, and he didn't see this rich history. And part of the trials leads us into this rich history of who the Fremen are, the people we're supposed to be finding. Because as an off-world, we don't know anything about them other than what the propaganda is, which is that they're pests that get in the way of spice production.
Yeah. Just to also give insight, like at the beginning of the game, is just like you've seen it on the character creator as well, right? It is your main objective, and that's all you know. There is some stuff after the character creator, which I don't think you have access to, perhaps. But other than that, your mission is pretty basic. Just find the Fremen, if.
So publicly, videos have been out that do document the initial cave that you crash land into and how you crash land, and then how you get like the very, very early game tutorials with the ship, and then escaping on a thopter, and then going through. So yeah, I think there is that out there already, and I think at some point, not in this episode, I think we can talk about that as well.
Yeah. But there's
anyways, caves,
yes. But then as you come into this space, so we've been in this cave with the dust and the dirt, and now we're not in just a cave. We're in something special built, and the lighting in here always made me think of something spiritual, something more than. I mean, even you've got the steps with almost like an altar at the top. You've got the figure at the top with their hands out raised. It's very spiritual in here, and the lighting gives it this very subdued weight of something happens here. And I think that one of the cool is you walk mode. You can't even run in here. You're going to use your indoor voice, and you're going to walk. And pause, darn you. Okay. So again, back to the lighting, everything is the music quietens. There's a story here visually, and not just what we're doing as pew pews, but there's a big story here that the devs have laid out for us if we kind of pay attention. Stephen, you wanted to talk about this part.
So yeah, as we get through to this area, the Fremen themselves are a very deeply religious, spiritual people. One of the main things that has kept them alive for so long has been their faith and their kind of deeply held traditions and ways of doing things, and being able to adapt as well. Things such as water discipline to them is a religion. And when they hold these tenets really tightly and they value it to that extent, that's why they are very hardy people, but also they're very, very secretive. Those who aren't on Arrakis or don't come to Arrakis don't see any of this. They just kind of think of Fremen and they just think, oh, wild desert savages. But one of the things that I think the game kind of comes across really well is they're not, they have a lot of culture. I mean, we can see here we've got glow globes lighting up the place, which is, Holtzman suspenser tech. We have, very deep, intricate carvings. Something I really love about the game is how, we can see on this wall here at the back. I don't think we go up to it in this, but the detail on it is beautiful. It's got all writing all over it, and we've seen it in some other very high-res screenshots as well. But as we approach this altar here, a bowl comes up, and you can see it now. It's a bowl of refined spice. It's the most precious resource in the universe, and it's just sat in a bowl there.
It's time to do a bowl.
The first one is for free, though.
It's how they get you hooked.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, like, just to also give a bit of a spoiler, I guess. But before this, when you're dropped into Arrakis, you are not like spice sensitive, so to speak. But as you start playing a bit at the beginning, you start seeing things and hearing things, and like because space is everywhere. So by this point, you already, let's say, had the moment, had the spice rim. I think you've seen part of that in some of the new trailers, actually. And this is like after you have like experienced, like, oh, whoa, okay, well, what happened here? And then like you start trying to find answers. What are the answers? For now, a bowl in the middle of a cave that you're supposed to inhale for free.
Just go to a bowl of drugs in a cave. What could go wrong?
That's what they warned us about when we were kids. Don't take drugs.
There you go, like video games, fulfilling the dream. But I mean, it makes sense, right, in the whole Dune lore. But if you try to look at it abstract, it's a bit suspicious.
Oh yeah, I think one last thing to note before we just huff a bowl of spice. We just kind of, for those who are new to Dune or don't know about it, spice, as you can probably guess, is a drug. It expands consciousness, opens up the mind, and can give a limited sense of prescience. That is to appear into a future or multiple futures. Some might exist, some might not. But it gives very deep and convincing visions. I think that's what we're going to see now. Hit play. That's not ominous at all. I do like the press E to inhale the spice. It's just like face. You should just do a little bit of it, just start the evening off nice and calm. Nope, face plant.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
There we go.
You wake up with your perfect eyeliner.
And this is
Only.
why the game is rated 18.
And we're in the world of spice fishing.
And it's trippy.
There you go.
Very, very trippy.
Again, don't
got
do
that
spice out of a random cave. The best advice.
Yeah, spice, not even once.
Someone just mentioned the music. So the music changes from kind of a reverent music to something more suspenseful now that you're high on drugs. And being able to look around, the sky is purple. It's not supposed to be that way, and shit's floating. So, the devs, this is not, we're not in Kansas anymore. Something is very different here, and this is part of the Fremen journey, is to find the Fremen. You follow the footsteps of the Fremen, and so we have this visual change and auditory change, and the story that should be creating a little sense of suspense and expectation for us, I think, as players. It's always frustrating when I hear someone, I just ran through. No! You missed the best part!
Speed run it.
I know. That hurts my heart when they do that.
Who is it that thinks? Ibn Kirtaiba. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wally?
So we'll let it keep going. I'll do a little bit of Fremen 101.
Yep.
Understand what?
Our god gave us the burning
Just the
eyes
sounds.
of Al-Lat. And the words of the Kitab al-Ibar rest in black shade. Be black shade. Be black.
There we go. Pause it for a sec. Got there eventually. We're into. We are Wally. We do not now. I'm going to say we do not find Waldo. You never know. So, as part of our journey in finding the Fremen, we are following the footsteps of a young, untested Fremen, which, from the lore, the word is Wali, W-A-L-I. So, effectively, we're kind of going through the same process that a young Fremen would do as part of the test of reason. And we want to kind of unlock these secrets and find things out, which it starts off nice and easy, I'd say, as we can see here. I think this is some really good just kind of game tutorial design. We come into this area, we see a big glowing eye there. It catches our eye, and it teaches you pretty quickly what she meant by keep to the black shade. And you're on fire. I think.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. Sun is bad, okay?
And this kind of links in to the way that you've played the game up until this point. Having to find that, not having to move between the shadows. This is just kind of like, it's on extra hard mode. If you stay out within like 5 seconds, it burns you with resin. You reset.
Yeah, but by this point, it's stuff that you probably already know once you get this. But it's always good to reinforce the idea that sun is not good. Like, avoid the sun as much as you can.
Yep.
And it was this bit. If we just let it kind of go through this, and I'll do another bit of lore drop, because lore is fun.
Our children taken and made slaves. They denied us the Hajj. Never to forgive, never to forget.
So, quick Fremen 101. They, but yeah, I think the Fremen come from the Zensuni Wanderers, which over several thousand years were forcibly moved from planet to planet. One of which was Harmontep, but from pretty much all of the nastiest places in the known universe. And each step along the way, they were pretty much forcibly evicted or migrated into different areas until they eventually land on Arrakis, including spending some time on Seleucia Secundus. So they are, generationally in their genetics at this point, some of the hardest, toughest people in the universe because they have suffered so much throughout all of it. And they mentioned they're kind of denying the Hajj, which is the Fremen spiritual journey. I think I kind of mention all of this because I see a few people online kind of saying, "Oh, it's got guns, it's not Dune," but the devs have really, they know a lot of these are fairly deep cuts, not just from like the first book, but from pretty much all the books. And as a Dune fan, I find it really, really, they're very in tune with what the lore is about Dune. They know it very, very well. And indeed, they've expanded on it in a way that works and makes sense. Like I'm saying, we don't actually, from Frank Herbert's canon, we don't know what the answer to the question, who is it that thinks? But through this trial, we are given an answer, and it makes really good sense.
It's a good tutorial to who the Fremen are for people who aren't familiar with the IP. I think some people are coming to Dune as survival gamers who may not be familiar with the IP, and so it's a nice introduction to who are we looking for and why are they important. Not everybody's seen the movies. The books, the books are what they are. They're a little thick, but so not everyone has the same background in the lore that some of us do. And I think this trial is a good introduction, not just to the mechanic of Stand Dark Shade, but who are the Fremen and why they play a part, such a big part in the universe, and why we are looking for them, because there is something there. They're not just some tribe of people running around the desert. They have purpose in the game. They're not just the MacGuffin for us to go find. There's something there. I love the eyeballs. Sorry, I can't help the eyeballs.
I'm just gonna say, like, in general, like the whole game, it's been made in a way that it's accessible for people that do not know the franchise, so they can just get in, like, hey, it's sand and there's worms. Yay, I love it. But there's also like a lot of heavy lore that people like Mojo will get, like Mojo and two more people that have read the entire thing and have like a encyclopedic knowledge of everything. There's stuff like that because our writers and Joel, they are like big Dune lovers, and they just love lore, and it's like there's a lot of reference. I have no idea sometimes of this reference, and I look like an idiot sometimes, like when going, for instance, over patch notes of stuff that we cannot talk about, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And somebody's like, oh, didn't you know this is in book 87 page 2? Duh. It's like, okay, sorry.
Yeah. I have every confidence that the devs have read all of the stuff, and that any deviation from the stuff is not inconsequential. It's not something they've done lightly. It is for a specific purpose. Starting with Paul not being born, everything from that is done very specifically for a reason, not just hand waving because they couldn't come up with a solution, but because they're everything that they've done has a justification in lore.
Yeah, like I'm gonna say something that sounds obvious, but it's sometimes not that obvious. Like it would have been so much easier to just stick to the lore everywhere where it makes sense, right? But if we made any change to the lore, it's just because we had to, for one reason or the other, right? Some are unavoidable, like we have to do it. Like, for instance, the magic, like lasers and shields. So people like, oh, why can't I nuke people at pleasure? Like, do you understand what you're asking?
Yeah,
Like,
that would be a very
Players
short game for all of us. That would be.
yeah.
The gamers are just rampaging murder hobos. If you give them nukes, they're going to use nukes.
Yeah, there's going to be a speed run on how to nuke the entire server for like 10 weeks straight. It's like, all right, that sounds fun, but let's not.
Let's not. It would be. Can you imagine just a few going off? Just the particle effects alone.
I mean, mentioning another game like Fallout 76, like it also had like this system where you can drop a nuke on the server, and it's you hear the stories of what happens sometimes, right? So like imagine that, but at will. There has to be some concessions, right? So that, and also like the story why Paul is never born. Like we need to find a way to drop 1,000 Paul wannabes in the game, and then pretend that like everything is not like, oh, you're the savior, and then the next person comes to talk, then the NPC, oh, you're the savior too. Like, okay, let's try to find something that actually works.
Yeah, and it lets us have our own story. We don't know how this ends. We don't know where it goes. Unlike the books where we have, we know 10,000 years from now where that goes. We don't know who, we have some of the players, but we don't have the story. And I love that taking this kind of what if branch gives us a lot of power as characters. It means our actions can matter. It's not predetermined. We're not railroaded into a certain end.
And eyeballs.
And the eyeballs.
And eyeballs.
So, I do love how just trippy this whole landscape.
Yeah. And that kind of ethereal music. I lived in UE for a while. I could feel the sunburn from here every time those things go by.
This was always good.
Wouldn't it be embarrassing that they filmed the trial in this video?
Did not God give us the burning sun to defy? Suffering leads to defiance. And where does defiance lead?
Yeah, the big last.
Yeah. As a fair-skinned person, that I'm just that singe. I can, I'm like, yeah. And you can make your character sunburned in character creator too, just for
lore.
Just for lore.
I hope you remember to bring your sunscreen from the present.
The water discipline.
Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember how be like
Fremen for Amen. There's nothing else to say. Bila Kaifa.
And we return to the real world with the worst hangover you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, stone floor
Amen.
cannot be comfortable.
If you're doing again random spies from a cave, this is the least that can happen.
Yeah, you actually got off pretty lightly. You just having to dodge a bunch of flaming eyes.
Yeah. So we have time for a quick Q&A, keeping in mind the NDA. Did we have any questions go by, Mojo, that you saw that look like something we could talk about?
We've had a lot of nice people answering some of the questions that have come up, which has been nice.
I've seen that. There's a lot of I love the nerddom going by.
So I'll answer, of course, most people asking when I get banned. I'll answer one from CZ Patron. How our drug addiction starts. Arrakis is full of spice. It just exists in the air. If you're on Arrakis, you're exposed to spice.
Yeah.
Spice is one of those awful drugs that will never let you go.
No.
You become immediately addicted forever. Good luck.
We saw in the movie when they went out to the spice harvester, and they were all trying, throwing the chairs and things out of the thopter to make room because the worm's coming, and Paul started tripping so hard he just kind of wandered off. It's just in the air. He wasn't even around the harvester that long. He's just that sensitive that a little bit just had him tripping balls, and almost died because he was not in the same plane of existence. You can't not be exposed to spice.
He was also probably playing the tutorial with the eyeballs.
Yeah, he missed that one.
Let's see if there's another question. Oh, can we answer that one? I don't think we can.
Let me actually see. Are you going to show the unique emotes that you see in the character creator? I'm confused by the question. If I'm honest,
I think when are we actually going to see those unique emotes, such as like the Atreides salute?
Okay. I mean, when we'll release the game, I don't know how to answer that in a more elaborate way. I mean, there's going to be modes in the game, obviously. I think some people have found even a way to see some emotes during the character creator. So the obvious question: when are you going to see those emotes? When you can play the game. If when we release the game, for sure. If we ever do like a more open beta and whatnot, then you will see the emotes. But it's it's a system in the game where you can emote to people. For instance, I don't know. You see a clanmate, you do whatever mode you want to do. You see Mojo, you're the one there's like, you can do a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yep.
I'm gonna get that from like everyone in the game.
Lore.
That's an interesting question.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we can answer that one.
No.
Let's have a look. Then
I'm scrolling.
keep scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking if there's any other questions that we might be able to answer, that would be helpful. In terms of open beta, nothing's been said yet.
Yeah. A bunch of questions we
I mean, I guess I can answer right away, right? The open beta, we have not announced anything yet. We don't know. Like, if we can, we'll do it. If we can't, we won't. But it's not out of the question. It's just right now we are very focused on the way to launch, right? So we have the closed beta, as you know. It's no secret that these fellows are also trying the closed beta test, and we're using all that feedback to basically make the game the best it can be at launch. Basically, if we can fit an open beta from here to launch, we would love to do it. But for now, the priority is like finishing the game, because the thing is, as lovely as it is to have people trying the game, the more people you add to the game, the more upkeep you have to deal with, right? Not only in developing, but keeping up with the servers, keeping up with all the feedback, keeping up all the people who are playing. Like, there's so much more that you have to do just by letting more people in. That it's a lot, and more now that we basically painted the target on the wall. Like, this is what we are gonna publish, right? Or when we're gonna publish the game. Like, we now cannot miss the mark, so we have to be focused. So all of that just to say that it is not out of the question. I think we mentioned it a few times that we might do it, but right now we have nothing to announce because we don't know our stuff. We are still like running the numbers on everything. So if we want to do, or once we have decided, we'll let everybody know. Like, you've seen that we are pretty loud, we're announcing something, so you'll hear. But until then, all we can say is like, soon, maybe. I don't know.
soon.
There's a couple of questions that have come up that have caught my eye. I think you've been talking about this one a little bit in the Discord.
Yes.
I don't know if we.
Yeah, let me just answer it. It's something I think it was mentioned on Discord at some point, right? based on closed beta feedback, actually, it is something that was added during the closed beta test, where you can visit people within the same world. Like we'll explain this in one of the directs, right? How more or less servers are structured, or the server infrastructure. Or you have worlds. And then within those worlds, there are different servers in it. I'm not going to use other terminology that could be associated in other games, because we know how putting tags into things is working out. So I'm just explaining it like this, and I hope you understand. If not, we're gonna explain it better with a proper blog post, and then videos and whatnot. But just bear with me for a second with these words, right? So we have worlds, which you imagine is like this collection of servers, and within each world there's many different servers. So if you are in the same world as your friends, and you are in different Haggabays in sort of say servers, you can visit them. You cannot play as in like building and everything as if it was your main server, but you can stay with your friends, visit what they're doing and whatnot, and then you return to your world, and then you continue your game as usual. I think there was a question about transferring players across servers. That is something that I think that we don't at least have at the moment. But again, like we are basically changing things and adding things based on the feedback that we're getting during the closed beta. So it is, again, not out of the question, and it's reasonable. It's just that right now we don't have it, I think, in the closed beta test. I could be wrong. Like everything is changing so fast this month that I don't even know myself sometimes. So, but at least you can visit other players, and then in the deep desert you can play with everybody that's in the same world, and then in the social hubs you can meet with people in the same world.
Yeah, I think that pretty much answers it. So yeah, that's something that's fairly new.
Do one more.
Think of a nice one that's relatively newish. Because there's stop asking things we can't answer, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, you can ask, but the answer is going to be.
is this going? That's a very good question.
That one of the questions of all time.
Yeah.
This one from House Erebus. I think.
Yes, I think there's also something that we've been answering on Discord, right? You can use it to hijack other players' stuff, but only on PvP enabled areas. Like if you're in, for instance, Haggabays and it's mostly PvE, you are not able to get or carry other vehicles that are not yours, or at least you have permissions to, right? Like if somebody gave you permission, like guildmate or whatever, then you would be able to carry that. But if it's not yours, you are not able to, unless there's something unintended. Then in that case, please send the report and we will have to deal with it. But it is not possible. But on PvE areas, PvP, I mean, yes, it is part of the shenanigans we expect people to interact with, and like we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
denial of assets is a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, it's PvP areas. It's where it is, right? You know what you're getting into, but that's also why we're making PvP optional in that way. Like, if you don't want to deal with somebody ruining your day, then probably don't step on the sand. Send Mojo. And
yeah, so like
Grand Theft Harvester, a little bit.
It's just involuntary procurement. It's fine. It's how you get an inventory. But I think that will do for questions.
Yeah. So the next part that we were going to try and zip through, I had, speaking about art and things, was I had requested some. Let me get the right screen up here. Screen art from the community. I think some of you guys recognize, I can never pronounce their name, Muscon.
Music.
Yeah, she was in the community. Not the recent one, but the one before that. Has shared a ton of amazing art and has allowed us to share this. Then there was, let's see, because I was like, you know what? If you got some art, submit it.
Impressive.
Still
Hey,
in a baby worm. It's only got 2 teeth.
It almost looked like taken from the walls of that cave of all caves.
could be. Someone wanted to go
you're-
handwriting. This is shaken. It's awesome. It's. I was showing Mojo my notes, my written notes earlier today, and it was bad. It was a combination of just bad handwriting with German script, and it's illegible even to me. I should have been a doctor. Then we had, where is, I lost it already. I had, this one's from Snowball Slick. Woo.
Woo. I mean, I think we already broke a bit the woo, right? I guess
word
right
has been
now,
broken.
yeah, you know that the woo is a bit of an inside joke. Joel shared it in one of the directs. We had a very, very bad voice line on the placeholder phase of the game, and it was like this message that you hear for like somewhere in somewhere, a spoiler somewhere. And they were supposed to say something like, "Oh," like super excited scream, and it was the word. They're like, woo. And they were talking about horrible things in that voice clip, and it's like, woo. It's like, oh my god. So it was so terrible.
It was awesome.
It went on
became,
for so long.
And I guess I'm going to share like some extra spice here, like something never shared before. But Zoe, the presenter that we had for the directs, we had her with us at Gamescom, and they were still preparing the next direct, I think it was. And that's the moment that we used to strike. Like, hey, Zoe, do you wanna see something horrible? And we was under the woo clip, and she laughed so much that it became part of the direct. And Joel was like, it's an inside joke at this point that he likes. So that's how we sneaked it a bit in the woo to give a little nod to the beta testers that suffered the incessant woo.
Suffered is the word.
I laugh every time I think about it. It was so bad and yet so awesome. It's like watching Kung Fury, you just.
It was like 3 minutes. Like, go on.
It could have been last like 3 years.
It felt like it.
Oh god, it was everywhere. Also, I guess again, like it was a placeholder line, right? We at that point we hadn't like developed like even the final script or anything. It was just there because like there's supposed to be something here, so we had it there. And my god, you open the voice message somewhere, and it's like, is it gonna be a woo or is it not? They're like, oh my god, it's a woo. No. So
it's like the worst deal or no deal box. Just open it up. Oh no.
Yeah.
We have a few more. This one was submitted by Fail Rogue.
Oh my
Made
god.
us all look really good. I don't know where he found that picture of you, Ignacy, because that's not the one you sent me. But
that's my Twitter image, which I'm not. Well, I guess I can also give some lore in there. That picture, like it initially was something, but since it's so tiny on my profile picture screen thingy, you cannot see it. But I was laughing because a bird dropped the biggest bomb possible on top of my car roof. And I was like pointing and laughing, and then I put that as my profile picture, and people just thought that it was like, I don't know, like he's doing the pose, like he's being cool, like no. But I'm gonna roll with that. It's better than reality.
There was, let me see if I can find it. Everything's in here. So I have two from Dog Bump. He did some printed art. So we have a nice blade and display case. So that one turned out really nice. I envy people who have 3D printers because all of the blades from this franchise are amazing. And then he also submitted his aunt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Made
that.
Some Shai Halud. That is freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
That's so cute.
Oh my god. Handmade, I guess, right?
Yep. That is adorable.
Oh my god.
That is adorable. Then we had, where is it? Mukau submitted this one.
That
Hey.
this is gonna sound bad, but I like. Okay, let's start. I love this fan art. Okay, but this reminded me right away of a post on the character creator show off where somebody said like I started trying to recreate Chalamet and I ended up doing I don't know who else. So who was it? Well, anyways, you'll find it on Discord. You'll see.
Oh yeah, we've got things on Discord. We have things on Discord. Then we had, where is it?
Some people have made some utter abominations in that character creator.
Yes.
Like
the Pennywise thing is like, god damn it.
This one's from Shroud.
Oh my god.
oh, he's not having a great day.
Yeah.
See, this is how you can write worms.
This is exactly how we
Don't expect to go very far other than into the world.
Witness middle.
So that's my. It reminds me of Kynes though. It reminds me of Kynes from the miniseries, where he's out there and he's saying, "I'm not done yet." When the worm gets him, the face reminds me very much of Leah Kynes. I'm not done yet. That last bit of, and then last one is from CZ Patron, who was so kind to include the NDA notice down there at the bottom, because it says the NDA. I'm half blind. NDA enforced by worms.
Yes.
And CZ Patron's giving us a little wave. So yeah, the art that this community has inspired, just the visuals. It's the most recent movie gave us some amazing, stunning visuals. The live, the desert is I can't even. It's stunning, and I still stop sometimes and risk death just because I'm like I gotta find a screenshot. I gotta this if I could, this would be. Because it's so beautiful.
Yep. It's I mean now people can see some of it on the benchmark, but it's not the same seeing it from like an ornithopter height from like also ground level. Like it hits different, especially if you're in the middle of it with no transportation.
Yes.
It's very different.
We just get sidetracked in like storm, sun. Yes.
We've seen it a few times in like some of the building videos where people get, and I've done it a good few times, you get carried away with building and you just building up, and then there's sandstorm. Oh no. You have to run for cover.
Or you're half dead from
very
quick.
And to run.
Yeah.
It's too late.
When you're like, oh yeah, it gets away from you.
The game does not stop just because you want to build a pretty base.
No.
You still have to survive.
If only it's like I'm trying to be have a safe place here, and that looks really cool. And why are you being this way? Then the last thing, thinking about stunning views, is Ignacie's video, "The Beauty of Arrakis."
Oh, I mean it's not mine, but I'll take credit for it. It was made by but it's made by like our marketing people. Out of them, the magic, Mr. Torregil, mystical.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, he was the guy building the big bases that we showed on the very first videos, and he's also been building a lot of the stuff that we show for Conan. So it's like the mythical Torregil from marketing. And every time I tell him that people on Discord know him by that name, he just laughs because it's Torregil. He's like the nicest guy in the world. He's Norwegian, of course he is, but
I have a question, Ignacie, and feel free to tell me that you can't answer it, because I have this question because I don't have the answer either.
Indeed.
In this video, you gave us, you, Funcom, encompassing, gave us this beautiful music. Does this mean that we could have similar in our future for the game?
I mean, the song that you hear in this video, it is from the game. It's I think when we released this video was the first final song that you can hear, because in the old videos that we used to release 2 years ago now, right, or something like that, almost 2 years ago. Jesus, those were like, yeah, they were not placeholders per se, but they were songs that were not supposed to be fully final. We used them to get the vibe of the game, to get more or less the tune, whatnot. But the one that you hear here is the one that it's already been recorded, for the final setup, right? It's made by Knut. I probably need my cheat sheet here to read the whole name, because again, like, I'm not Norwegian and these names are very long and very difficult to pronounce. But Knut Havenstrup. Haugen, yeah, Haugen I can do because that's easy Norwegian, but the Havenstrup is the part I need to read it. But he was the one that also did the music for Conan, and he's coming back for the music for Dune. And this song that you see here, or here in this video, it's the first one that we showed from this final composition in the trailer. If I'm not mistaken, you can hear parts of the list of another more final song. And yeah, there's going to be obviously a full soundtrack. People are gonna ask about the soundtrack like they do on Discord, but
straight away
they've been asking.
There you go. That's the question. Of course it is. If somebody is here from the Metal Helsinger area, they know that I have an allergy to hear the word Spotify. But for Dune, we have not confirmed anything, but I would love us to do it at least. We did it for Conan, right? So I think we will at least do our utmost to have it available in places.
I think you're in an interesting position because fans of the movie are coming from that score, and it ties with the vibe. There's a whole atmosphere that comes with the visual and the sound. And
it is, yeah. So it in a way, it's difficult to shake off that. It's a story that I've been telling forever on Discord, right? Also that. When we got the rights to do the games, there were no movies yet. They were going to make the movies, and that's where we acquired the rights from Legendary to work on these games, right? So we had no idea if the movie was going to be good or bad, or we had no idea, right? We knew that Villeneuve was going to do it, so okay, it's probably going to be a banger, but you don't know, right? Or if it's a banger, it could be like Blade Runner, that's a really good movie that nobody saw. So you never know. And then obviously the music became iconic and winning awards left and right, and the music is now also iconic. So we are in this awkward position that we were doing our thing. Obviously it's still based on the general vision that Legendary is setting for for the franchise and whatnot. So we are not steering away, but we have
pressure.
Our own music and everything, right? So when we started releasing the first videos with our songs in it, people were like, this sucks. This is not Hans Zimmer. Well, no, it's a game. We have our own music. There's not the good old video games that you got from movies back in the day in the PS2 era. That was everything was taken from the movie and put there. How are they good? We are telling our story based on this vision and this universe, but it's a story, it's a music. But that said, I think the vibes are there, and for this trailer and the final trailer revealed date trailer that we showed yesterday, I've seen way more positive responses to the music in particular. People are starting to shake off a bit the good Dune soundtrack, and they are starting to accept that, hey, Dune is not just the movies. There might be actually more stuff. Let's be more open, and the vibes are immaculate, right? So I think we have captured at least the same vibes that they're going for with the movies. So anyways, good song, banger. We have more.
That was the question, is for me, we're looking at this and people have seen this when there's a vibe, will we continue kind of riding that vibe?
Yeah, it is definitely a vibe. It's something that again, bias, but I said it almost for years now, that the game is a vibe. when we barely had anything in the game, it was just like very bare bones early days. Just for me, just staying there, game open, having the music in the background, the ambient sounds and whatever was already like a big vibe for me. So it's good to people are now starting to click there and like, oh, it's a bopper. I want more of this. Like, oh, the first dose is free. You'll see.
So what you're saying is this game is addictive.
I cannot say it's under NDA. I mean, this is one of those things that I can say whatever I want, right? It's going to be super biased and treated as bias, obviously. I think it's addictive, but I'm also like into this kind of game. So, and I work for the game, so obviously take it with a grain of salt. But what I can say is that we have some people in the beta with hundreds of hours, and it's people that know they are playing a non-final version and they're going to lose everything at the end, but they are playing a lot. So that I can say. You'll see. In 3 months, you'll see. That's the thing, right? It's whatever I say now, you'll be able to check it out by yourself.
Soon.
There you go.
Okay, so riding the vibe. We're gonna Mojo. Did you want to talk about a little bit about this one?
So let it play. Just enjoy the vibe. I think for a few. Yes, it's absolutely a vibe. Like you said, you can just
actually, yeah. This reminds me though, when we posted these videos, we got a couple of comments on social media like, "How boring show combat!" Like, bro, it's literally like a Vistas video. Like, what do you want out of this?
Pew pew. They wanted pew pew.
Don't you know who they think they are? We've got to make the game for them. But yeah, I think June, as a kind of work of fiction, as a universe, and especially the way that actually Frank Herbert wrote it, was always, kind of the world building through the characters, but also, it's not all about big action scenes or big combat sequences. Generally, June is a lot of politics, a lot of talking, a lot of just existing in the world, but also the world reflecting how all of the peoples that have inhabited it have changed it, and it's changed them over time. There's a real sense of how the people are the world that they live in. And I think this area here, could they be Fremen? Who knows? But I mean, we can see a whole settlement built into the side of a mountain that's just kind of seamless, nearly invisible. Imagine if you were flying above this, that you'd just see cliff face. You'd just see the top of a cliff face. And I think this is kind of one of those beautiful bits of world building where, there's a reason why we're being sent to find the Fremen. They're not easy to find. They deliberately don't want to be found usually. So, yeah, I think it's honestly breathtaking. I do think that the Unreal Engine that the game's made with, Unreal 5.2, is, it's one of the best showcases of it. And I think even people who are playing the benchmarking have been blown away by how kind of optimized it already is.
Yeah.
Even kind of beta state. I think I've seen 1080 Ti's doing over 100 frames a second, which for 2025, and it's like it runs really, really well on old hardware, all that benchmark. So
yeah, like I'm still surprised that it runs on Steam Decks and roguelites, as Joel also mentioned today. I'm shocked because again, like it's a visually busy game, right? Also, like regarding the benchmark, like also I think we put the disclaimer on the tool itself, right? But like it's a benchmark. Like the thing about like sandbox games is you never know what you're gonna find. Like you're gonna find like normal scenarios, which is what the benchmark is preparing you for, and then you might find the craziest thing ever concentrated around you. Like it probably will bring my computer down to its knees, but like it's also the beauty of sandboxes. Yes, like sometimes it's just like some people are crazy. So
Yeah, if you kind of walk into an area with hundreds and hundreds of massive player buildings and vehicles and explosions all around, don't expect things.
Yeah, like I don't expect at least 100 frames per second with a 1080. Like I would say because that 1080 is still alive.
you could expect like a real immersive Arrakis experience. I mean, how much heat would come out of this?
Ignore the burning smell.
Also, Also, if you got the 5090, yeah.
Well,
yeah. Anyways.
yeah,
But I think are again like bias, but one of the things that you can at least all agree that our artists and world designing team and everything like that they have been knocking it out of the park. Especially, well, what you see here in this video is mostly Haga Basin, which is the first map, so to speak, that you're playing, and then after that you move to the social hubs and the deep desert. But Haga Basin is the one that has like the most, so to speak, like structure in a way, right? Because you kind of like we mentioned it a few times, it has the size more or less of Corn Exiles, and it's structured in a similar way, as in like you start from the south, move up north as you progress through different things, right? And I think, again, with the complexity of doing a game about a lot of sand, I think the team has done like a great job, like making it both like visually interesting, because again, like all sand everywhere, it is a vibe, but like making it also different. Well, you see, probably spoiled the video if people understand, but you'll see that there's a lot of things going on in Haga Basin, and our team has done like the best job. They like anybody could ask of anybody. Like if anything, we can agree that the music is
yeah. I think you might have been cutting out a bit then, but there you go. I think you're back now.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, no,
Anyways,
That's okay.
good to hear you. It was just a bit
pineapple
choppy.
pizza.
It's all good. Pineapple pizza, yeah. But yeah, I think some of the earliest kind of concerns we had in the Discord, literally like in 2022, was people saying, "Are they going to do other planets?" Because
oh my god,
there was a fear that you can't make a game that's on a desert planet be interesting. And I definitely think that all of the different kind of zones have their own feel, their own vibe, and unique look, and there's a lot of diversity there in terms of it's not just a big open sandy desert. There's so much just in it, and I think it's really cool.
It's just stunning.
I think this was actually one of the first times we've seen these buggies that are different colors.
Oh yeah, actually yes. I was like, no, we showed this on one of the first videos. No, yes, the customization. It's probably one of the first times here and in the trailer yesterday. I think it's the first 2 times that we have shown it, and yes, you'll be able to customize your vehicles and also your gear with your colors. Like you can be the pink warrior if you want, but the idea is mostly also to give like people on guilds a way to represent their colors, right? But again, like if you want to be the pink warrior of the desert, sure, that's also. Well, I am not confirming hot pink in the game, but in case we have it, you could be like the hot pink warrior of the desert if you want it.
I can see V3N3 there is advocating for terrible water discipline.
Oh,
Put up your comment for your shame.
how naked? Actually,
Sunburn.
this is a super easy question to answer. You can get as naked as you can see in the character creator. That's the most straightforward answer. Download the character creator, see if that level of nakedness is good enough. I would say for a desert planet that tries to burn every single every single thing that it sees, I think it's more than enough. You should probably not even show your hands. So
Yeah, you can get that naked, but there are consequences to it.
it's all right. I just saw who asked this question. No comments.
Zero comments. Right, we'll continue on.
Just the tracks behind the treads.
That's Arakeen, by the way. It's one of the social hubs in the game. At launch, we're going to have two, Arakeen and Harka Village. So there you go. First, I think it's actually first time that we showed Arakeen, because up until now, it was always Harka Village. So
there's been some zoomed in shots previously. I think the
probably okay.
one that's there.
At this point, I just don't know what we've shown and what we have not shown. It's been a long ride. But at least the first time that you see like a big shot of the whole thing, because up until now it was like Harka Village and like at the whale, that people were like, oh really, like a whale skeleton in Dune, like well now that you have seen the series, yes, because in the series actually one of the factors, the Harkonnen mentioned actually the whale trading, so there you go, now it's mainstream. Gotcha.
I think we'll continue. I really like this hidden cave. Green light.
You can hear the wind chimes.
It's a vibe.
Who's piloting that? So there's one thing that I think some of the creators' YouTube videos kind of showed it off, but these red flowers here, again, taken straight from the lore, the dew plants, the dew flowers, where I think some of the earliest conversations that Joel had on the Discord were talking about having to, when you're very, very, very first starting the game, having to scramble to get any kind of moisture you can, and these collect it overnight, and you can drink straight from them. But if you drink too much, you throw up, which
it's counterintuitive.
And of course, the spice blows. I love the shockwave, and it's like felt for so far around. It's great.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm going to mention, I don't know if one of the creator videos shows it or not, but at least that I can recall, like the thing that we did not capture here is that when it hits your character, this shockwave, you get actually the screen shaking a lot. And I can say that because I was on the very first videos that we tried to do like this, like the scenic videos. I was trying to record like some scenes and whatnot, and every now and then there was like this spice blow that would mess up my camera. It was like boom, like, I mean, could you stop being so immersive? And when I saw this video for the first time, my reaction was like, "Oh, here we go." So, okay, yeah. Can the shockwave kill you at certain distances? Even if I could answer that, I actually don't know. It never hit me so close. I don't think so, but.
Dune Moore says yes, because it's an explosion with a shockwave. I mean, it would make sense.
Physics.
In real life, yes. If you're ever in Iraqis, don't try. But in the game, even if I knew the answer, I don't know what to tell you. It never hit me personally in game so close that I can give you an answer, actually. Because this, at least in my experience, they usually happen in the horizon, and you're like, oh, that's where I want to go, right? So
Iggy's just not on the cutting edge of spice harvesting.
I'm not part of the meta, no.
I think, as Joel says, that is a play around and find out.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's actually one of the things also that we tell to beta players. Because NDA break. But anyways, one of the things that happen, like people join the beta and ask things like, "Hey, what about this?" Like, you told me, now you're here. Welcome to Rockies. So yeah, find around and fuck around and find out.
Like, he could be that kind of straight down.
It's just beautiful.
It keeps going. It doesn't stop. I think you had something to say about the rift, didn't you? Like,
I love exploring this area. I love the immersiveness of it. I love the darkness of it. I love the textures of it. I love the sounds of it. I don't like being in it. It's a mixed bag, but from an aesthetic, we're talking about okay, it's a desert planet. There's sand, but we saw the saguaro, we saw the flowers, and there's biomes, and one of the biomes is the rift, and it's I'm trying to be very mindful of how
you've got the world director having to go now.
Aye.
From an aesthetic, it's amazing. Actually going down in there is challenging, but in a good way. And I'm trying to tread the line. I love this game. Don't put me
Please, don't ban me.
Don't ban me.
Don't ban me. Okay.
Not much long left on this video now, but yes, I think this was shown fairly early on at some point. But can you tell which faction owns this base?
Just guessing.
I think they give it away a little bit.
Yeah.
Nah, you think?
Very much, the Atreides base.
Yeah.
I think previously we've seen some Harco buildings as well. But just generally the very, very different vibes of, the different types of buildings, when looking at them. I think this particular one is a bit egregious. It tells you who they are just so that nobody could be confused about it. But
they're sending a message.
they're sending a message. Guess what? The Atreides are here. But yeah, I think he's one of those things that's really well done, in that the different factions have very much their own unique aesthetic that they go, and it goes pretty hard.
Back to the visuals, it's stunning. I mean, look at that. Just to stand out on your balcony and just look at that.
Yeah, I think the one thing I've always loved about it is the landscapes, and you can pick landmarks off the horizon, and you can kind of work out where you are in the world based on all that. And I think every different area has its own very different visual identity, but because you can see quite far out into the desert and the way that the lighting works, you can kind of follow a path, and where you're going to be coming from and going towards things. It's really nice to navigate.
Don't tell that to the world director. He's going to believe it.
it makes
Yeah.
sense. It's nice.
No, but yeah, like even I like I'm being funny here with the again, like for a game that it's like it's all about sand and rocks and sun. It has like good visual identity. Like it's you again, like you will see in 3 months by now, right? It's not going to be like this thing that Ignatius says. No, it's you will see that even when you are like, okay, where the hell am I? Like you can just look at the horizon, you see a few rocks here, and they're like, okay, more or less, I get it. It's something that I was not expecting myself out of a game that like it's literally a desert, right? So, good stuff.
Yeah, you kind of expect, I was getting lost in the desert. It's just like, it's just all sand dunes and sand dunes. It's like, how do you know where you are? But it's got such character to it.
Yeah.
That every
You'll
different
still
area.
get lost though.
Oh yeah,
but
still get lost.
There's
Yeah.
the rift. I get lost in there a lot. There's no sun.
The rift is a bit brutal. Let's just spoil the surprise a bit. Again, like you can get it by the vibes as well, but it's a bit of a brutal area. But it's very beautiful. It's a beautiful place to die a lot. So
Visually, it's amazing.
Yeah.
As a player, when you get trapped down there, it's
your corpse is going to enjoy the view.
Yeah.
just the color palette, the shading, the lighting, everything.
Sand. Beautiful sand.
Sand.
Yeah.
Lots of sand. Sand and rocks confirmed. There you go.
And the sky.
Maybe some sky.
Eh.
But yeah.
The game is gorgeous, guys, and I know the world director. I don't know if he wandered off or if he's still with us, but you guys make an amazing game. Just like I said, there's a vibe to it that I think even non-nerds can get into, and I'm pumped. I'm a nerd. My inner nerd is speechless.
Nerd alert. We hope that people it's something that we said also for the longest of time. It's not going to be the game for everyone, but for those that we made the game for, I hope that they really love it. Because if you are into Dune or you are at least Dune curious, I think the game, at least we try to hit the mark in many regards, and one of them is the environment. Like it's something that we've been saying for a long time. Even when people are like, "Oh, why are you doing a video about the environment and not combat?" Because like Arrakis is probably the most important character in the whole game. Like doesn't matter what the story is about. If Arrakis is there, that's just going to be one of the main characters. Like that's just it, right? And if we don't nail Arrakis and the vibes of being in Arrakis, both brutal and good, I don't think we would have done a good job. But I hope that at least people love desert and getting sunburned 24/7, they will dig it.
Yeah, and definitely when when it's kind of said PvE, like the E really is the the kind of environment is a very, very important factor.
Yes,
and I think it nails it in terms of actually the survival itself in the world doesn't feel like you're babysitting bars on your UI. Like everything is telling you and actually affecting you in the way that you're on Arrakis. You're on one of the harshest planets in the universe, and you've got to survive it. You can't just act. You can't just passively sit there, as an off-worlder who's just kind of crash landed. You can't just like sit on the sun and say, "Oh, this is nice." No, you got to work for it.
You can do it.
you could.
It's not going to go very well, but you can.
Yeah, just don't expect you to cost very long.
You guys have posted the stats in that at CommuniNet of some of the things.
Oh, yeah.
And the environment. I came from Conan, which had the storms and its own. The temperature was sometimes a thing and then not a thing, and sometimes a thing and not a thing. But the environment is consistently your enemy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's trying to screw you over every single second that you're out. It does not. Well, it's like Chrome in Conan. It does not care about you, Iraqis. It's like you're here. Welcome. This is
Yeah.
it.
It's gorgeous, but it's still trying to kill you. And I'm here for it. I mean, just like I said, I've been caught out. Just in awe of you're moving around and you catch the sun a certain way, and you're just like, wow, and then you die because you ran out of water.
Rip. Yeah. No, but I think it's I like difficult survivals, right? I still think that we should have gone a bit more hardcore with everything. With that said, like, we also want people to enjoy the game. But yeah, I think it's you have to treat Iraqis like one of the main characters and respect it the way it deserves. Like, for instance, one topic that I guess I can bring up when traveling. Again, like, we want people to respect the Iraqis, right? So I think it's something that you also mentioned at some points, but we are not fans of fast traveling just because we want people to actually like treat the Iraqis the way it needs to be treated. So every time you need to do a trip, especially around Haga Base, and you need to plan ahead, you need to know where you're going, you need to get your supplies, make sure that you have all you need to reach wherever you're supposed to reach. And if you don't plan ahead correctly, sucks to be you. You will find out soon enough, right?
Yeah.
Getting caught out in a storm will make your day very interesting.
Each videos out of it are going to be impressive.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the worm now. That's the topic for another day.
He always comes. Shai Halud always comes.
Our waters will return to the grandfather of the desert. Whether you like it or not, usually not.
You probably won't like it, but it's coming anyways.
Oh, you know what some people like.
I turn out good.
Let's talk about role playing.
Oh God, no! Not again.
Trying to drink some water here.
Water discipline.
Spitting it out would be bad water discipline.
For the role players.
Right.
But no, visually, I'm excited. The game is beautiful. It's amazing looking. It's amazing sounding. You guys have hit the planet as a character with the Fremen art and the structures that we saw in both videos. And yeah, my inner nerd is very happy with this experience.
We're going to do a couple more Q&A before we finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a couple more Q&A, a couple more questions that we might be able to answer. I'm going to try to pick ones that I know we can. I think that one's quite an interesting one.
How long can the storm last in real minutes? And it's really good to grow in a few seconds. For now, this is one of those questions that I do.
Because it has been, there's been a lot of content creators that have shown the storm coming in.
One thing that I can say, without giving you like more specifics than what you've seen, is that content creators in our event, they experience the first roughly 5 to 6 hours of the game, right? Which is also the video reel that we've given to other content creators that were part of the content creator program, but they could not go to Oslo. For instance, what we've seen before, it's part of that reel, right? Yep. But it's roughly the 5 to 6 first hours of the game, right? So at first the game is easier. The further you progress, the rougher it gets. So I would say for now, what you've seen in those videos is accurate enough. Some storms last more or less the same, but at least in the starting area, they are not going to take a lot of your time, right? Obviously, like, once you get into the deep desert, that it's you probably heard about the Corolli storm. That's the one that basically wipes the entire server once a week. So there's a bit of a difference, but at least for now, at this point in time, what you've seen in those videos is accurate enough for the first hours of the game.
One little note of clarification, because I know that people always say it. When you said wipe the server, wipe the deep desert.
Wipe the deep desert, yes. Yeah, you need to specify, yes. The deep desert is going to get wiped weekly. Haga Basin is going to remain as is.
Keeps it fresh and keeps the quote unquote alphas from camping a good spot, consistently denying something that there's an effort to go out and rebuild bases and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and also like what I also want to achieve with that is create like some fresh content every week, like with every of these wipes in the deep desert. There's new stuff popping up out of the sand. Like there's going to be a new dungeon. There's going to be new areas with resources that were not there before. So we want people every week to go out there and try to experience a bit the joy of exploring, and also like avoid the situations where there's the alpha clans that they will always camp the top spots. Like if you wipe it and change it every week, there's not going to be top spots, right? Or there's going to be top spots, but it's going to take you a few days to figure out. So it gives you that rush every week to go out and explore. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, just stay in Haga Basin and enjoy your time, right? Like stay around, enjoy the quicksand, the worms.
Yeah.
Yep. People asking questions about like the end game stuff, like the deep desert. It's like they can't talk too much about the deep desert.
Yeah, we cannot share more than what's been shared so far. But we're going to share more about it. As you can see, we're trying to show like the starting areas of the game, starting few hours of the game, and as we approach the launch, we're going to be showing more and more of the game. So you'll see. But for now, we cannot really talk more than what you've heard, like the basic information.
Oh, that's a.
Can I put the coolons at least once? So I don't think there's an interaction button, but you can use emotes perhaps and roleplay. But I don't think there's an interaction button. If you want one, spam Joel and our world director about it. But I don't. At least I'm gonna play it safe and say at launch you cannot pet the coolons, but you can pretend that you did.
It's like that Viva La Dirt League when Roland wanted to pet the dog and broke the whole world. It's like, no, I must pet the dog.
you can go next to the coolon like, "Are you good coolon? Huh? Who's the best coolon? Are you the best coolon?"
I like the way you just weaponize chat. Think of one last question. Trying to think. If there's any. There's one about server regions, but
we have nothing to share about that at the moment, just because we have nothing to share about that at the moment. Not because we don't want to share it. It's just like we are still doing closed beta testing. We are trying to, but I'm not going to say more because I don't have that information actually. But I would say like the safest thing to assume is that if there is an audience for it, we'll try to, accommodate for it, like similar to what we did for Corn Exiles. If we see a region that needs servers, we open servers. But this comes out of nowhere. Like don't take it as official word. It's more like the only thing that I can give you other than just wait until we announce something.
Yeah, at least we've got an end date to all the waiting now. Finally, after all these years.
Yeah, now you know when to expect at least the big news.
Yeah.
And then finally, one question I know you can ask, that you can answer.
Oh yeah. Yes, it will be swift and brutal, especially if your name is Prestoy.
Right. I think that'll do for now.
Yeah. I think that's got us good. Get good. We did want to make sure that hold on. making me hit keys here. Media. Screen. Aha! If you haven't already, you're way behind, but you can still wish list on Steam. Do join the Discord where all of the fun people are waiting. We are often graced with the amazing Iggy's presence. It's all about the pizza and the pineapple and the poor little Maldives. The next time we should invite that world director. I heard he's a cool guy. I heard he's pretty amazing too, and I bet he would have lots of fun things to say if we could run the gauntlet in his office to his presence. We would do that.
Fake news.
But yeah, I think I guess only other thing to mention is, definitely check out the Awakening Wiki, awakening.wiki, which is the community wiki for the game. That has been over a year old now. It's gaining more and more traction. It has pretty much all of the public information ever released about the game. And once the game is out, it will be a fully functioning game wiki, which will be fun.
Yep.
So, definitely have a look into that. Join the Discord, see me get banned every other day for funsies.
No, every day. Not every other day. Let's not relax, okay?
Trying to reduce my banning by 50%.
That reminds me, I need to work for that 44th attempt. So,
Oh, God. And obviously a big shout out to our moderator, Brad.
Oh, yes.
Who's been diligently keeping the chats nice and calm and cool, especially when Twitch had an ad that ran at one point.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Sometimes do. Just as a real quick production assist was Brad. Music by the guy whose name I will mangle, so I won't actually try and say it, but
Knut Ovenstrup Hagen. See, if I say it, I can pronounce Ovenstrup. If I have to try to do it from my memory, it's Norwegian. It's so difficult.
Yeah, I hope I have everybody credited properly for their art that we shared, because that was pretty amazing, and I want everybody to get proper credit. Was there anything else that I've forgotten, Steve and Mojo person? No.
Steve and Mojo person.
This week has been a ride. It has been a ride because we got to see the drop date, and all of the footage that came with that was just like breathtaking, and it's like, oh my God, this game is so awesome. And again, just seeing it, every time I see it, it's just like I feel like a noob,
And there's like, oh, by the way, character creator. Oh, by the way, benchmark. Oh, by the way, pre-order soon. Oh, by the way, pre-order. We're like, oh my God. Ah!
Yeah. If you haven't already, do download the content creator and benchmark. You get the amazing looking knife skin, and it's beautiful. The benchmark test is beautiful. Just saying.
And the pre-order reward is a little Muad'Dib terrarium.
A terrarium of Muad'Dib.
Because, hold on. We have...
One thing that I can say that I've seen people ask about it. It's animated. You will see the little Muad'Dib move inside. We'll show more, when we do like a proper reveal of the reward of the pre-order and whatnot. But just so you know, it moves.
I need it.
It's super cute. It is super cute.
It is adorables. Can't even. So pre-ordering when it opens.
When it opens, yes.
That is what we can get, and I need it. I need some more Muad'Dib in my life. Just look at him; he's so cute.
Yes. Also, interesting side note. I guess to close this with good vibes. Many beta testers have drained them out of their blood to hydrate themselves. So keep that in mind.
Many.
I'm not looking at anyone.
I saw the stats that you guys shared before, and I wouldn't know who would do such a horrible thing.
So we call this the terrarium Muad'Dib. Some people maybe here might call it like an energy drink dispenser. Who knows? Yes.
No comment.
I hope that will just sleep at night.
It was an accident.
Repeatedly.
Could say something about crates, but I'll behave.
Don't say nothing. NDA. Now is the time to invoke the NDA. There's ever been an NDA that's needed.
Anyway,
Anyhow.
it has been amazing to have both you guys and all of the amazing comments and questions. It was super engaging. And on that note, now is a good time to wrap. If we do a next one, send in art. We'll talk about those. I would love to do a next one.
Yeah,
But for now, es ist spät, and it is time for us to bid adieu. So we will catch everybody on the flip side. See everybody in the Discord.
Yes, join the Discord so I can threaten Mojo with more people.
It's gone from ban Mojo to cancel Mojo. God.
It's more or less the same.
Yeah, I guess.
We have our moments. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
Bye.